Welcome to EXCIA. I am so excited to welcome my great friend Meredith Oliver and also marketing guru. Good morning, Meredith. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Good. It's great to see you, and thanks for agreeing to be on my podcast. I can't wait to for my audience to get to know you. I've known you a long, long time, and so does a lot of the builder world. You're really a highly, highly respected marketing guru. So let me get into your formal introduction, and then let's get chatting and get to know each other. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right. So Meredith Oliver is the Home Builder's Chief Marketing Officer. I love that. You're the founder and Chief Marketing Strategist of Meredith Communications, a digital marketing agency specializing in home builder marketing. You're the author of Fantastic Marketing 3.0. That's that one, I think, right?
Mhm.
And then Fantastic Selling, which is the one in your hand, the green book over there. So you made it easy for simpletons like me. You got a blue book and a green book. So I'm predicting different colors in the near future. Meredith holds a master's in communication, a bachelor's in psychology, very impressive, and the certified speaking professional designation. You are a 25-time speaker at the International Builder Show. I just got goosebumps. 25 times. That's crazy.
Yeah,
My
this
goodness. So
year.
there,
This year.
yeah,
Yeah.
is this yeah? An
Yeah.
absolute legend. Yeah, there we go. So we're honored. Thank you for spending time with us. And you've served in leadership roles with National Sales and Marketing Council and Professional Women in Building. You've earned top industry honors, including the Nationals Gold Award. I didn't know that for Education Series of the Year. Wow. MERM of the Year. Can you tell us what MERM stands for, please, for those that don't
Yeah.
know?
Master in residential marketing.
There we go. It's a very hard designation. I know. I think they've ended it now, right? But it used to be
Yes.
a really honorable designation. So having
Yeah.
MERM after your name is exceptional. And the Bill Moster Lifetime Achievement Award. Despite living with a rare chronic illness, I'm so sorry to hear about that. I know you really are a soldier, trooper. You remain passionately committed to your clients and to the home building industry. You live in Durham, North Carolina, and you enjoy
hmm
Gator football. You're a Gator
hmm
fan? I didn't know
Yes.
that. Does your husband
Huge.
know? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes. He
I
does.
thought he was a
Yeah.
Miami fan, isn't he?
Yes, he
Spicy
is.
fantasy. Oh, sorry, we're talking over you. Spicy fantasy audiobooks. That I didn't know. So what are we talking like 50 Shades of Grey and that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, sort
Is that
of.
just so?
Yeah.
Yeah, and shoe shopping. Yeah, that's right. You're known for your shoes. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Whenever I go out and on vacation and I'll see a stunning pair of shoes, I actually think of you. I think, oh, we should buy those from Meredith. So there we go. All right. So thank you very much for sharing. So for our audience, I can't wait to get to know you. So first of all, can we go back and talk about marketing? And can you give us some sort of tips on marketing from your first book to really, embrace the world that we live in today? And then we're going to talk AI.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
So at Meredith Communications, we are digital marketers for home builders. There's about 10 of us on the team. My husband and I lead it,
Yep.
and we build websites for home builders. We do search engine optimization. We do paid search management, and we
Perfect.
do social media management.
Right.
So
Okay.
and let me say, a lot of the content I'm going to share today, I meet every single month with anywhere from 25 to 30 builders across the country,
Wow.
from 3 custom homes at $2.5 million a year to hundreds of production volume. And those are clients of ours. And part of their agreement is an hour with me where I go through all their Google Analytics, all
Wow.
their social analytics. And so when I write these books, I don't write them on my opinion. I
Right.
write them
Right.
based
There you
on
go.
years of looking at analytics
Right.
and really digging it. So
Yeah.
that's how it all started. Now, the thing I don't know if you remember this, Roland, but years ago we worked together on something and you appreciated what we did and you sent me a chocolate shoe. Does that ring any
Oh, I
bells?
remember that. I so vaguely did.
You did as a thank
Some
you.
chocolate.
See, that was fantastic marketing in
Oh,
its
there we go.
essence because I've never forgotten it. Because somewhere you were in a chocolate shop and you
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
a shoe
Where
on a
was I?
chocolate. I don't know. You tell me, dude.
No, I'm saying I'm talking to myself. I do talk to myself a lot. I realize that.
I
I'm
know,
saying,
me
where
too.
was I? Like, what great chocolate shop would have had a shoe? But
I
yeah,
don't know. but
Maybe
you
San
sent
Francisco, I
me
think.
a chocolate chew as a thank
Wow.
you. And it
Wow.
took me like a month to eat it. I kept it in the refrigerator because it was
Oh yeah,
so
yeah, it was big.
beautiful. I didn't even want to eat it.
Well, it's Easter right
Yeah.
now, and so for English people, Easter is our chocolate season. So, I need to
Nothing
go
wrong with
find you
that.
another shoe. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, right.
amazing.
So, we have several things in common, one of which is I'm in Durham, which is a part of the Raleigh, Durham,
Yeah,
Chapel Hill Triangle now.
yeah,
Been here about
amazing.
15 years, but prior to that, I was raised, grew up, went to
Oh,
college, everything in Orlando, Florida. So you and I have a
right.
Florida connection
Yeah, yeah. I live in
also, and
Miami for
that's
those
how
that don't know. Yeah.
yeah, and that's how I became the Florida Gator football
Oh, that makes
fan.
sense. Yeah.
And
When you were Miss Florida or Miss, I know you were a beauty queen in some
yeah, man,
area.
that was a long time ago. Yeah, I had several titles in the Miss America scholarship system
Good for
that
you.
paid for my education, paid for a
Look at
large
that.
part of my master's degree. I went to
Wow.
Miss Florida. I was not Miss Florida, but I was always had top honors there and
Oh,
wanted to go on to Miss America, but that was not part of my
yep.
journey. But actually,
Oh,
what's interesting is, Roland, one day excuse me, I was sitting in my car at a red light a couple years after Miss Florida. I was already working in our industry, not for myself, for another company. And out of nowhere, I had this lightning bolt, and it said, you don't have to become Miss America to be a keynote speaker. If you
oh,
want
right.
to be one, just go be one.
Right, right, exactly. You don't need approval from other people. Just go
You
make your own
don't.
way in this
You
world. Yeah,
don't.
exactly.
And so it started a journey of me. I was a guest in the sales rally at the builder show a couple times. And
Sure.
then I quit my job and I started Meredith Communications. And we celebrated this year 25 years to
Yeah.
the day of Meredith Communications.
Oh, is that right?
So,
Today's your
yes.
anniversary? Oh, what a
Well,
special thing. I'll put that on the notes here.
I
20, a
know,
quarter of a
right?
century, you old doggy, or
We've been
something
around
like
a
that.
long time.
Yeah, a long
So
time.
that's
Yeah.
just all to say those are the connections
Good.
Roland and I have. We spoke this year
Sure.
and many years at the Builder Show. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Perfect. Yeah. I'm sorry I
yeah,
interrupt a little bit. It's just I feel like you're an old friend, so it's my bad habit there. But what was going? So you consult with 25 to 30 builders every single month. So
every
everything that
single
you
one.
yeah, which is amazing. So everything you talk about is current and up to date. Can you give us some of those tips that the builders out there? Because the audience, I believe, for this are salespeople, managers, and marketing managers, and some owners. So, what are some
Yeah,
tips that the marketing and sales managers should be thinking about right now in
yeah.
2026?
Yeah, well, in the current market, we have to stay very laser focused on if you have inventory, we've got to stay focused on moving that inventory
Sure.
and making that appealing. And the idea there is that the first impression is going to happen online way before you ever
Right.
speak to them in person.
Right.
That's the emphasis behind fantastic marketing is that your marketing is either going to create fans or not,
I
which
see.
will either drive them to have a conversation with you to come in to speak with one of your new home sales specialists to buy the home.
Right.
And by the
Right.
time they get to the point where Roland helps your sales specialist become excellent communicators and negotiators and all those things, before they ever get there, it's understanding that your potential buyers are already having a conversation
Right.
about you
Right.
through your marketing. You're just not in the conversation. And
Right.
frankly, that is frightening. If you think
Right.
about it, they're talking
Sure.
about you and you're not in the conversation to correct the
Right.
record, to
Your ears are
influence
burning.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
your marketing speaks for you at that juncture. So I would ask everybody that's listening, what is your marketing saying for you
Right. Right.
before you get a chance to represent yourself in
Right.
person?
Right. So, no, it's an amazing point, and I think that the kids really understand this so well now with social media.
Yeah,
You have an eight is Brady 17 or 18? He's 18, isn't he? Your
he's
son?
18.
Yeah,
He
mine's
graduates in a
turned.
month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and my son Max is turning 18 in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So they live in a social media world where it's natural, and these influencers are always building their brand, if you will. I think that we builders are getting there slowly but surely in
Oh, for
understanding
sure.
what that building the brand is. So any insights into, is it social media? Is it paid ads? What is it that's getting that fantastic experience? So that, as you said, they're forming an opinion. They're already thinking about you early. Like, what are some examples of, if you can, within the time we
Yeah,
have to explain that? Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. So, yes, it's everything you just mentioned. In this market, it takes a website that is persuasive and clear and
okay,
easy. The tip I would give on that is it really needs to operate more like an app. If you would think about it, your website being more like a Zillow, where
yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
it's easy to conduct a search and get
Right,
results. If you're
right,
custom or on your lot, hey, I'm not leaving you out. Yours might operate more like a portfolio app of all
sure.
the things you can do. But you got to
Mm-hmm.
think about it like how easy and smooth does
Right,
your favorite app work? That's what your
right,
website has to do. So that
right,
website forms that opinion. Then we come in and you said, is it social? Is it paid ads? Well, in
right,
this market, yes, 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 yes.
right, right.
It takes I'm sorry to say this, but it takes a much bigger budget to currently find the people who have the urgency, who need to move, because that's really who we're capturing right
Right,
now.
right. Yeah, yeah. Finding the
Um,
right people. Yeah,
yeah, and so it takes a much bigger budget,
right.
and it definitely takes a hefty amount of paid. And I don't say
Does
that
it? Yeah.
a lot of agencies work on where they get paid a percentage of how much you spend in
I,
paid,
s-
and I
right.
have a real problem with that.
Yeah.
So
So,
when
yeah.
I give a recommendation to say you need to spend more, it doesn't do me any good
I
because we
love that.
charge a
That's
flat
great.
fee. We're flat
Good.
fee.
That's
So
very
when
honest.
I
That's great. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Much
So
better.
when I tell you it takes a chunk of money, it's not in my best interest. It's just looking at the analytics and saying,
Right.
this is how much it took to get one appointment.
Right, right, right.
Mhm.
Talking of websites, like what is the it seems almost old fashioned now, websites with everything that's happening out there where our attention spans are so short, there's 8 seconds or less where people are scrolling and looking. So what is
Yeah.
the how long should somebody spend on the website as a buyer? How do you get them from the website to walking in? Is that something that you deal with your clients?
Yeah,
Like what's the
absolutely.
catalyst to get them to jump from that, or what is your recommended spin on that part of the
Yeah.
process? Yeah.
Well, the benchmark that we see most often is that 80% of your website traffic is mobile, particularly
Is
if
it?
you're being aggressive with the digital ads, because digital
Mhm.
ads largely serve to mobile viewers, social
Mhm.
media as well.
Right.
So then with 80% mobile, what we've been able to benchmark for our sites is a 3.5 minute visit.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, so it's longer than you think. Years ago, it used to be 5 minutes, but we're at three and a
I have
half.
no idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what it takes to get someone to come out to your community or contact your online sales counselor is at least a minute. If you're a community builder, you're building in communities, it takes at least a minute long visit on that community page. So let's say your community is Magnolia Trace. They've
Lovely.
got to spend at least a minute there.
Hmm.
And then when they drill into a specific home or floor plan in that
Hmm.
community, then it takes
Hmm.
another minute on that page.
Really? Okay.
Mhm. And
And
if
does it
you, mhm.
go up to you, please?
Sorry,
I want.
if you hit that minute, then they have digested enough content that generally, if this is a location and price point that can work for them, you'll
Right.
get a reach out.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough. Now, I had two questions burgeoning through my brain at the
boom,
same time,
let it go.
causing an impasse. So, but the first one is, in order to make your website stickier and people stay on, visualizers or whatever they're called, where you can build your home
Yes,
online, is that an integral part of keeping them on the website so that they
yeah.
will fall in love with you, the builder, and the brand and all that stuff?
100%. So
Okay.
the top uh, most engaged content is video. Any
Mm,
kind of video could
really?
be a reel that you've used on social media that you
Okay.
then go put on your website. Also,
We love
always put it
video.
on YouTube Shorts
Right.
because
Okay.
you can get a ton of free traffic from that. So you could use your reel three places, right? But you also
Yeah.
obviously can have a professional, and you should have professional video shot of your model
Right.
home. So
Right.
video's your number one thing. Then after that, your visualizers. So
Okay.
your interactive floor plans, your
Right.
interactive site maps,
Right.
your
Right.
pick out your siding and your cabinet color and your
Right. Right.
flooring. All
Yeah.
of that just adds time.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that true that I hear it, I think from marketing people that the typical, the average consumer is on at night, like at 11 o'clock at night or something, and maybe a
Yeah.
Friday night with a glass of wine. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
making this stuff up or not.
Yeah.
But they'll save their dream home and go back to it 3 or 4 times, go, look, honey, I'm building a home for us online kind of stuff. And of
Yeah.
course, I'm projecting all my own, inner fantasies but I mean, that idea that it's nighttime and the website is so good that people just get lost in it and keep coming back to
Yeah.
it to keep building before they
There's
finally reach out. Is that any veracity
yeah.
to that? Yeah.
There's two times a day that are peak website
Oh,
traffic.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The first one, all of you that
Thank you
own a
so much.
business are gonna cringe, but it's that lunchtime going
Okay.
into lunch
Yeah.
and coming
Makes sense.
out of lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's when stop is
Is
good too.
yeah. And then the evenings. So that's
Hmm.
when it's gonna peak.
Right.
There's like, for example, there if you have an online sales counselor, there's no reason for them to be in the office other like if you have a meeting with them, fine, but they're not going to get a lead at 8 a.m. on Monday
No.
mornings. They're
Right. Right.
just
Between,
probably
yeah.
not.
Right. Between
Yeah.
8 and 12, and then between, 1 and 5, the people back at work, and so or whatever, 2 and 5.
Yeah, it's
So you're
pretty
not,
dead.
the OSC is going to be dead. So that's why they need to
Yeah.
be probably home working remotely because,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's a
Yeah.
whole, I mean, we could go on all day with that because I could learn so much from you. But with the OS, so on the website, is it an OSC that jumps in? Is it the new world of AI where the AI jumps in to transfer that lead, talk with it a little bit, and get it over to a salesperson, or to the OSC? In fact, what are you finding is the way to go, Miss Meredith?
I think that if you'll use your guiding principle of this fan experience,
Okay,
then we want to engage them as soon as they are ready at every point of the marketing buyer journey. Because we talk
right,
about a big buyer journey, but honestly, one goes on online. And so at the top of that funnel, the widest part, they're doing their own browsing. They're using those visualizers. That is part of your funnel because you're catching their attention to hold them on that page.
right,
Then
right.
say if you were to
Exactly.
customize a AI bot that could engage them in some very middle of the funnel
Right,
basic back and forth, but it has
right,
to be a good experience.
right, right.
Then by the
Definitely.
time you get to your OSC, they can provide that human, the HI experience. And it
Right.
takes
HI. Is
all
that a
of
real thing?
that.
HI?
Well, I
I never
call it
heard
that. I
HI.
don't
Did you
know.
make that up?
I
I'm
don't know
going
that
on
I did. I
GoDaddy,
don't think I did.
hi.com. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that I did. I wouldn't take credit for it, but
Well,
your
there we go.
OSC then gets you the HI, and then
Right.
all of that has formed a proper marketing journey that will
Right.
then kick off their sales journey.
Right, right. Yeah, but sometimes I mean, whenever I get a call from a builder, I go on their website and I like it when the OSC shows up, says, can I help you, whatever, but it does spook me a little bit. So I'm wondering, like, if I'm not really ready to, to engage, if I was a real buyer, I'm wondering, like, what the protocols that are most effective. The thing I think, at the builder show this year, they had some examples of outbound AI now, and it does sound human. I think it seems like it's the future is here within, like right now now where AI is replicating humans to get people to walk in. I don't think they're not going to replace salespeople, but that those jobs, and of course AI could work, at 11 o'clock at night if they wanted, and whereas a human wouldn't be expected to. So it does seem
Yeah.
like it's the future. All right. Well, this has been very helpful. Talking of AI, why don't we talk about your new book, which is all
Yeah.
focused on AI for salespeople? Would that be okay?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
what prompted you to write this? Like, what was your motivation to sit down and put a book, your second book on AI and salespeople?
Yeah, so when I founded the company, our original tagline my dad came up with, and it's
Hmm.
not what
Oh,
we
nice.
currently use, but it's a principle or a backbone of everything we do, which is connecting people and technology.
Okay.
So when the internet first came out, I wrote a book about that.
Did you?
When
Okay.
when social media first came out, I wrote a book about that. So my
Hmm.
goal is always to be a leader in the area of that scares people most.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
And
yeah.
what I get
Early
the
adapter.
most, yeah, what
Yeah,
I get the most pushback on currently is
yeah.
how we use AI to enhance our communications. That's my area of
Right.
expertise, so that's what I focus on. And
Good.
yeah, so that's what prompted me. And the other thing I'd say is I'd already written the marketing book and how to use AI in your marketing. And then it felt like, well, I've left half the coin without anything on
Yeah,
it. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
did the sales book. So we've got two halves of the same coin, sales and marketing,
Sure.
using AI as a communications coach.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, it's funny. The people that some people who may push back on AI, and I'm not one of them. I love it. Are the same people that will go on maps, Google Maps or whatever, to get directions, or or go on the movies and buy their tickets and get movie times and all that. Like this, we've been living with AI for 15 years, I think, in 10 or 15, and we
Yeah,
haven't missed a beat. We're very hypocritical. We absolutely love it. I mean, come on, every app out there really has been
that's the
engaging
thing.
AI in some fashion. It's just faster
It,
now for some reason, and there'll probably be a time where it does take over. There'll be a knock on the door, and there'll be my robot moving into my house. And anyway, I'll get back to
no,
reality here.
it's you're right. It just I think the term we're looking for here is deeply embedded. It is
Yeah,
deeply embedded, and I'll just
right.
throw this one other stat, and this was from
Sure.
actually our program that we did together at the Builder Show this
Yes.
past year. Is that Google's Gemini is
Hmm.
their Google is investing $90 million a year in
Okay.
it. And the
Sure.
quote that I found on it was that they have bet the company on AI.
Wow. Really? Yeah, of course.
So,
I mean, yeah,
so
but you got
like,
but
come
Joan
on.
or philanthropic rather, and
Yeah.
all Claude. I'm
So,
not Joan, Claude. I meant to say Claude, and it was just for philanthropics.
yeah,
I think, and then yeah, all of
yeah,
them are coming out with incredible AI, and they all do different things very, very well. I love it. I mean, I
yeah,
wouldn't say I'm dependent yet, but pretty darn close. I'm getting
yeah,
there. So let's talk about your book, and I think one of the things. How do you recommend that new home and online salespeople use AI? Like, what are your tips
yeah.
on how they use it? That's the foundation of your green book.
Well, let's start with what you don't do with it. I am
Okay.
not suggesting that AI replaces your or becomes your ghostwriter or just writes
Okay.
everything for you. I'm not
Really?
suggesting that in this
All right.
book.
Tempting.
I am not suggesting that it replace your important any sales training that you receive, that it become your sales trainer
Thank
or
you. Thank
replace
you.
your sales manager.
Yeah.
What I'm advocating for is that we use it as a communications coach.
Okay.
And I think we can all use a free communications coach in our back corner, helping us
Yeah.
refine so we can be more persuasive and
Definitely.
create a better fan experience
Sure.
through our interactions. And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm suggesting. And I think the pushback on AI currently is because there's just so many people using it wrong. And I get that.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
When you read these social posts or you get an email that is just generic and robotic and it
Yeah.
contains a
Yeah.
bunch of
You can tell. You can tell
mistakes,
it's AI.
you can
Yeah.
totally tell. And you're
Right.
like,
Right.
that's gross. And that is not what
Okay.
actually, here's the surprising thing, Roland. When you do it right, it actually makes your communication more personalized,
Oh,
not
sure.
less.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
less.
absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah. So can you give us a, so what does it mean? Can you give us some examples what it means to be an AI powered sales professional?
Yeah, because that's in the title. I talk about AI powered. And
Okay.
that's the AI powered means that it's in the background. It's your superpower communications coach. I'm
Sure.
not saying AI led. I'm not
Right.
saying AI driven. I'm not saying AI overtaking you. So what does it mean? It
Yeah.
means that you use it as a tool in your back pocket along with your CRM. Doesn't replace your CRM either, along with your CRM to say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Brown came in this weekend. They have two kids and a cute pug, and they're interested in
Right.
this 123 maple and 345 oak.
Right.
And I want to follow up because they have a little bit of urgency, but they don't seem fully ready to move forward. And
Right. Right.
you take your CRM notes, you paste it in
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and
I
you
love it.
say, give me a phone script or give me an email
Right.
that would be specific to this customer,
Right.
and here's
Right.
all my notes. And I am telling you, it will spit out the most beautiful, persuasive thing, and it will give you a brainstorm of things you never thought to say. So even
Really?
if you
Yeah. Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
paste in the entire thing it gives you, which I'm not necessarily advocating for, you
Right.
might say
Right.
3 or 4 persuasive points that you used to know, but you just kind of forgot, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to throw them into
Exactly.
your follow up.
Right. Well, and also what I love about it, it does it in a it's almost fun to watch it, but it does it so fast.
Yeah.
I'll send it a PDF and say, can I get a LinkedIn? Can I'll actually
Yes.
what I'll do, I should say this out loud. I have to edit this out. But after this gets rendered and posted, then I'll take this and I'll turn it into a transcript through AI, and then I'll
Yes.
give this transcript and I'll say, can you make me a blog and can you make me a LinkedIn article? I still have to edit them. I mean, in fairness, but
You
that takes me
should.
maybe 20 minutes, and it would have taken me a half a day or a day. I wouldn't have done it honestly. But now
Yeah.
I have a process thanks to AI that is extraordinary. So it's the time. So getting back to salespeople, the time saving
Yeah.
aspect of if you put your notes in the CRM, which is like your chicken stock, that's the foundation of your soup. That's you
Got
got
to
to put
be.
your notes immediately into your CRM or within
Yes.
30 minutes. Otherwise, it just gets forgotten. And then you can cut and paste those notes into your favorite AI to say, write me a follow-up campaign or something. I was just
Yes.
thinking one email, but you're saying, how about a campaign to stay in front of them and you're done. I mean, you might
And
have to
it's
edit
going
it
to be,
slightly.
yeah, yes. And you should proof and edit not slightly. You should proof and edit thoroughly. And what I
Okay.
recommend for that is an add
Yeah.
on tool that's very popular. A lot of people use it called Grammarly.
Oh,
So
Grammarly. Okay. Yeah. Really? All right.
So take
All
your
right.
raw content out of AI,
Okay.
and I always emphasize it is raw content. We don't
Right.
just say, oh, this is 100% correct.
Sure.
We take raw content and then we edit for nuance that it doesn't understand about our community or our home
Right.
building
Right.
in general, and then we use Grammarly to clean
Okay.
it up and
Right.
further personalized, and then we throw it in. And I mean, look, the Grammarly step is a 30-second step. We're not adding more time here. And
Right. Right. But I
it can
think
be integrated right into your
right.
email tool. So when you go and you put it in email, Grammarly does its thing, and it's like 30 more seconds. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's great. I noticed that at my age, the AI loves hyphens all the time, and it loves to bold certain things.
Yeah,
So
it loves
I
an
tend
M
to
dash. It
right. I
loves
unbold
certain
them.
things.
I take away the hyphens a lot, but that doesn't take very long compared to writing from scratch. And then of course you got different settings. Sometimes, I guess because of my personality, it becomes out very hyperbolic, and I got to like tone it down. Like I don't want to be in somebody's face to that. Can I have
Yeah,
sensitive? Can I have more humorous without being
yeah,
sarcastic or
yeah.
roasting somebody? But can I get a little bit more empathy into into the mythology? So yeah, it takes a little bit of practice probably for the salesperson to get the tone right, maybe? Is that something that
Yes. Well, there's a
happens?
whole setup. I have
Right.
a detailed setup in the book. I literally would tell it to everybody today. I'm not trying to hoard it or anything. We're just limited on time. But
Yeah, of
there
course.
is a proper setup where you train it to your
Yeah.
community, to your voice, to your
Perfect.
home builder, to the
Lovely.
industry. I detail the whole thing.
Right.
And then every time you use it, you're training it. So Roland, all you have to do is tell it, create this blog, do not use end dashes, do not
Right.
put
Oh, I never
lines
thought about that.
between paragraphs, do
I
not
never even
bold words. Like you
see.
give it how you want it, and it'll even
Right.
save you more time during
I
editing.
never even thought about it. That's so obvious. So you're
Yes,
an AI coach, exactly.
you got to
Yeah.
train your AI. So you're the AI coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but that's so fast. And once it
Right.
learns that, it never does it again. Okay, I have to say something funny. You ready?
Yeah, of course.
My ChatGPT, she has a name. I have
She.
named her, yes.
What,
And her
what is
name
it?
is Minerva, who is the
Minerva.
Minerva because
Okay.
it's funny, A.
Okay.
And B, it is the Roman goddess of wisdom and learning.
Oh, I thought
So
she was getting on your nerves, so you called her that, but that's even better.
Minerva. No, Minerva.
Minerva.
So, like, if I use Minerva during the day, I open it up and I'm like, "Good afternoon, Minerva. How are you?" And she
Oh,
knows my nickname, which is Mary, Merry,
really?
like Merry
Wow.
Christmas. And she says, "Good afternoon, Mary." And so then we have a whole conversation. I know y'all are
Isn't that
laughing
freaky?
listening to this, but that's
No,
the
I
thing
love
is,
it.
every time I converse with her in my natural voice, "How are you? What are you doing?" Exclamation point, because everything with me is an exclamation point. She is learning me and learning and learning. And so now what she produces for me is really quite good. And I mean, the other part of it is, remember, you can push back and go, "Minerva, this is not what we've discussed before."
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
You have to train her not only on what you like, but this is a
yeah,
huge tip and people don't think of it. You have to train
right.
her on what you don't like.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. So that's so sweet. I know so and this doesn't relate to sales, so I'll be very quick on it. But as a sales trainer, I create training material literally every
Of
week. I do
course.
Zooms. I don't do quite as many as you, but 15 to 20 Zooms, different clients a month, and I try to create new material for that on different assets of new home sales training. And I found that ChatGPT and the others can do really good cartoons, but sometimes they get it wrong
Yeah.
and they just can't get it right. When they do get it right, immediately I'll say that I love you. Thank you, I love you. And they go, oh, that's so sweet, I love you back. And I'm just so grateful because it's creating content that would have cost me thousands. It used to with cartoonists and stuff. And so I
Yeah.
have a fairly close relationship. I didn't realize that you could go as far as you've gone with your Minerva. Maybe I should start asking my chat GBT, like what would you like me to call you and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. When we were talking earlier, you said there's 58 practice drills in your book. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm known as the stuff guy. I teach stuff that you
Yeah.
can use immediately. Coming from my experience in the real world of sales, you're the stuff lady for marketing. You have these
Yes.
clients because it's
Yes.
not just BS. Like I think it might work. You are in the field every day. So could you talk more about and so with stuff in mind, what are these practice drills all about? Not all of them, but what's the thought behind
No.
that, and how does that work?
Yeah, so the book is based on the 10 undeniable traits of rock star salespeople, new home
I see.
salespeople. So
Okay.
with every trait, let's say be engaging,
Hmm.
that's one of the
Yeah,
traits. Uh,
definitely.
or being curious, so you ask great
Hmm.
questions, that's another one of the traits. Well, within that
Okay.
trait, then, so that's the HI. So we talk about the
Mhm.
human intelligence of being curious and
Right,
asking great questions. But then I say, here's how you can use your trained, set up properly ChatGPT bot, AI bot, to help
right.
you become more curious. So then there's
Oh, I see.
several practice drills at the end of that chapter that say, like for example, paste your notes in. What are some questions I could
Great.
ask to be
I
more
love it.
curious on the second
Wow.
visit? And it'll
Interesting.
spit out. So that's where each of these traits are the human traits,
Right.
except for the first one, learning to be AI powered. That's more related to AI, but the rest of
Right.
it, all honestly, is all about how do we ask better questions? How do we become more engagement? How do we do better follow-up? How do
Right.
we give a better presentation in our model? But
Right.
then okay, so I don't have Roland right here, right now. I'm going to take his training material and I'm going to think about what he's taught me. But then with
Oh,
this specific client that I'm trying to do something with in the moment in real time, let
right.
me use all of that, plug that in, and just get some suggestions that gets my brain flowing again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
Good.
I've got some stuff I can work with.
Well, no, that's amazing. I couldn't agree more. These sort of 10 pillars of what makes a great salesperson. So,
Yeah,
empathy or engagement is true.
yeah,
You sort of forget there's stuff that you can teach and stuff that just has to come naturally, I think. And
mm-hmm.
being an engaging human being is something that you should just, it's showtime when somebody comes in, you want that best version of you. But being empathetic, of course, genuinely interested, being curious
Yes,
is huge. So asking that when somebody, I mean, nobody wants a 2,500 square foot home. They just don't. They want somewhere for their three children, two children, to their first time home, to their the right sizing or empty nesters or whatever.
that's
It's
right.
a dream that's manifesting. It's not about square footage. It's about understanding those details. And it usually requires two, three, four questions, right? You've got to go deeper
Yes,
to get to their why. And so if you're forgetting that and you're just dealing with the surface stuff of, then you're not going to be successful. So, when you look at, when I do coaching and with salespeople with hot prospects, I have a form that has all of these. Well, what's their why? But why they like the location? Why they like the community? Why they like the builder? Perhaps why do they like the home and home site? What else should we know? Kind of stuff. But that all you only get that from being curious. You can't
that's right.
fake it. You've got to be paying attention. Both body language and answers to questions and being genuinely empathetic. So that's awesome. That if you're
And
missing that, then your AI will say, "Hey, here's a path to follow in your follow up to learn those things." Is that sort of
yeah,
that's a long way to get to that?
that's
Yeah,
exactly right. Is
yeah,
it's a
I love it.
learning tool that
Right,
supplements,
right,
the in-person learning, the invaluable role playing, and
right,
hearing from an expert, going to the builder show, like all these things. This is
right,
what I'm trying to do is supplement that. And
right.
again, being that bridge, that leader in the industry that says, hey, this is so deeply embedded in every tool we use,
Right.
and your sales managers, owners, please hear me. Your salespeople are already using it. They're just
Yeah.
using it poorly.
Right. So there we go. So
There's
you'll
so
go.
many of
Yeah.
them that are already using ChatGPT
Right.
or Google
Right.
Gemini or Microsoft Copilot, and they're using
Right.
it badly.
Is that
And
right?
that's
Yeah.
where the problem comes in.
Sure.
So
Sure.
let's use it correctly. Let's think
Yeah.
about what's the HI that is necessary to be a fantastic new home salesperson or to do fantastic marketing at the very beginning of
Right.
the journey. And
Sure.
then what are the tech tools that could save us time, could actually make things more personalized, more interesting, more engaging, more
Right.
curious. A
Right.
couple of the other traits I've got in here is how to be influential using
Okay.
social media.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it's
can
things
we
like,
stop on that for a second? Do you mind?
yeah,
Because I
sure,
don't. I think
sure.
that I remember clearly consultants saying, "Oh, social media is not going to last," or it's not. So that's a bad impersonation of
Yes,
these negative people, but it's not really real. It's like now we've crossed the Rubicon, if that's even an appropriate thing to say, where it's
yes.
definitely here. It's definitely influential. I've interviewed some people. There we go. I've interviewed people that that they're driving traffic with that. So are you suggesting in your book that AI will help you get to that as well? That it can
That's
help you with
right.
your posts. And I think that most builders I work with now are accepting the sales we should be doing that, in conjunction with the builder, so the brand isn't impacted, but it drives eyeballs and attention to the brand. Is that right?
100%. And
Good.
here's the thing, whether it's a phone call, which I would like to emphasize is the most important way and the most
Good.
influential way of all of these things we're talking about,
Sure. To
whether
get
it's
them
a
back in.
phone call or a social media post or an email, we
Right. Even a
get
video.
into ruts. We all get in a rut where
Yeah.
we kind
Yeah.
of send everybody or we post the same thing. And
Right.
we're busy people. We go from one customer to the next. So I'm
Right.
trying to interject a
Right.
quick efficient
Yeah.
tool that when used properly actually
Right.
will break you out of your rut and go,
Right.
oh yeah, that is the
Right.
most
No.
every social media post should have a call to action. I've been forgetting to put them in there.
Oh, there we
Oh
go. Yeah.
yeah. You
Perfect.
know,
But and
like if
yeah.
you because if you train your AI that says every single thing that you create for me needs to have a call to action. And if it doesn't, you
Right.
push back and go, Minerva, you forgot the call to action.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you get it. And
And
so it reminds you of the things that you need to be doing because let's face it, this we can't all have all this top of mind all the time.
right. And also, I think it
Right?
has to be fun. I've got a new name for your next book should be Funtastic because
Oh,
you
I
should
love
have fun
that.
with, yeah, because you should be having fun. Social media isn't about come see me, it's a beautiful day. It's
I
hey, come
know.
and
It's
see me. It's amazing. It's
boring.
Easter. Come out and have
Yes.
fun and plan your next
Okay.
holiday, that.
Well,
So it's
before we
yeah, we're
wrap
gonna wrap
up,
up. So let's
I
final
want to
thoughts
speak to the
from
fun. I want to speak to the
okay.
fun factor for
Yeah,
just a
let's
second.
and mhm.
So in the intro, you mentioned spicy romantic fantasy novels.
All right, I'm
Okay.
getting sweaty. Yeah.
I know. I'm not going to embarrass anyone, and certainly not you, Roland. Don't you worry.
Oh my
But
gosh.
for fun, I am writing my first
Oh,
fiction book.
nice.
I am writing a novel, and it is, and when
Wow.
we say romantic fantasy, we're talking about in the vein of like Fourth Wing. A lot of people know Fourth Wing. It was one of the biggest bestsellers,
Oh, I don't
whatever.
know. I used to read Daniel Steele when I was a kid, when I was in my like a beach book. I used to take Daniel Steele to the
Yes,
beach back in the day.
very
I think it was
instructive. Yes.
well
Um,
maybe. It's just easy reading, yeah. Page turners,
but
you know.
the point is,
Yes.
we all are so focused on our work, in sales and marketing, we're A types, a lot of us, we're
Oh
highly
yeah.
driven.
I hadn't
What are
noticed.
you doing for fun? I'm asking the
Right,
audience, not you,
right.
Roland. I know you going to car shows with your son is a lot of your
Yeah.
fun, but
Yeah.
you,
Dining.
audience, if you want to remain fun in your work
Wow.
so people have a
Oh, this is
fantastic
interesting.
experience,
Yeah.
you have to do something that inspires you, excites you, that's
Yeah.
fun. And
Right.
so a couple years ago, when the illness struck and I could no longer travel like
Oh,
I used to and keynote like I used to,
so
I
sad.
started listening to these books, and they're very fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I realized I could write this.
Good for
And
you.
so
Yeah.
I have 50,000 words already. I have an
That's
entire
pretty
plot.
good.
Everybody can't see it, but I have a whole, like what we call a murder board where I have a big board that
Yeah,
plots the
that's how you're
whole
right.
thing
Yeah.
with the string
Move the
and all the
scenes around. Yeah.
things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love it.
it's filling me up
But
in addition, of course, to my family and my son
yeah,
and my faith, all the important things, but it's reminding me of how to have
right.
fun.
Yeah, and it's not being selfish to think of yourself. If you give yourself to others, so if you work all the time and then you're not doing things
Yes.
for yourself, you're going to burn out. You
You're
got to
gonna
figure
be
out, and
empty.
maybe it's going for walks or yoga or having coffee and watching the sunrise, which is
Whatever
what I
it
do every
is.
morning. I absolutely love my routine. It just sort of completes you. So it's a good reminder,
Yeah,
not to have that work-life balance and find
that's
out
right.
how to have fun and bring the fun to work. For goodness sake, there's some great people out there that I know that do that, and let your customers have fun. They're buying and investing. Their
Yes.
their dream is manifesting of a new home in a beautiful neighborhood. So why not let that be a fun moment? So there
Yeah.
we go. I think that's a great way to finish. Thank you so much, Meredith, for your time. I really appreciate it. Again, everybody, your books are available on Amazon, your website.
On
Where do you want them?
Amazon.
On Amazon.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
Meredith Oliver, again, fantastic marketing and fantastic selling is
And the
what is
website is meredithcommunications.com. Google home
perfect.
builder marketing. We'll be right there.
And I'll put a link on it. And of course,
Thanks.
Meredith would love to work with you and consult with you
I
and
would.
help you drive traffic and sales. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you
Let's
so
go.
much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
EXCIA.